excitement time. So what I have today is kind of like a pseudo unboxing because, well, we already played it. I played it with a couple of my friends. Um, but I got Tiny Epic Western today. Let me check. Make sure you guys can see it because, again, I'm using my phone as a camera. So, yeah. So we watched the Watch It Played video. I don't know if that's the one that's linked to the QR code on the manual. I'll show you real quick. That's the QR code if you want to watch a video on how to play. I didn't bother. I knew that Rodney did one. Rodney Smith, if you all don't know. And I gotta say, if you haven't watched it yet, I watched it briefly when it first came out a couple months ago. And I didn't really pay that much attention because I didn't really know how, I didn't read the rules or anything anyway, so I just wanted to see the components. But he goes pretty fast. Compared to all his other tutorials, he runs through the Tiny Epic Western gameplay rules pretty quickly. So, and there were 3 of us listening on it, and we each picked up different things. We tried going through step by step with the setup, and none of us really wanted to think that hard. So, but you can see there's a lot of stuff to read. It's actually, out of all the small footprint games I have, this is like the most elaborate instruction book I've seen. I mean, it's got plenty of picture references. Text is not, it's kind of small, so there is an intimidating amount of stuff to read in here. And some rules were not super clear. Maybe it's because 3 of us were trying to figure it out and none of us really paid much attention to the book until we actually started playing. By the 6th round, luckily there's only 6 rounds. By the 6th round, we had a good feel about how the game should be played, but because we didn't make some realizations until halfway through the game, we just sort of finished it. We house ruled the way we were playing stuff. So some things we did not get 100%. But I think I'm going to play the solo version because it does support just 1 player. Although, yeah, I'm going to play the solo version to get the rules down, but if I can remember correctly, because obviously this is the Kickstarter edition, Deluxe. I did not purchase any of the playmats. I do have a Tiny Epic Galaxies playmat that my friendly local game store, my favorite place, they picked up a couple of them, so I was able to get the Tiny Epic Galaxies one when the Tiny Epic Western one comes out in retail. I will probably go ahead and pick up one of those. My friend has one. I'll see how useful it is. I mean, we played on a pretty light table, so some of the stuff was blended with the color of the table. Now my table, as you can see, is dark. So let me get to the unboxing part, and I'll just ramble on about the game as I unbox it. But you can see, I don't know if you can see the table, maybe not. Like I said, my table is dark, so light cards show up really nice on it. Like this is the retail wanted card. It's double-sided, looks like. And if you put it against the dark table, I'll pull this down a bit. Dark table, it shows up really nice. Now this shade of this color actually blended almost exactly to my friend's table. So when you looked at it, at first glance, I mean, you don't really need to read a whole lot, but some of the cards, they did sort of blend with the table, I thought. Here is the Kickstarter, the transparent wanted poster that we all wanted. So this one, you just place over the character card. Here are the character cards. Cowgirl, for example, when you earn the wanted thing, you could just set it down next to your character, or you can just be like, oh, she's wanted, right? Or I guess you have the window here, so now you stick it on top, and it's a different person that's wanted every time, whoever gets it. It's just a nice little touch there. I think Now, after so many Kickstarters I've backed, I've learned that Gameland Games is pretty reliable with their stuff. So, as for the quality of the game, I mean, they get better and better. But yeah, it's kind of like before it was just sort of toss up. You back it and I just sort of let it run. There were other games I've been concerned about. Like I'm one of the pre-orderers of Project Elite, and that's just foobarred left and right. You know, those of you who are following it. And again, I did the I missed the campaign, so I did the early pre-order, and so I don't get to comment on the comments thread. And I have so many things I want to say, and I know there's the Board Game Geek forums, but I'm like, you know, whatever. It's just so messed up. So, anyways, back to this. This actually turned out really awesome. Now the player mat, I can think of one person in my game group. They would not be able to see any of this stuff without their glasses. So that might be something to think about. My vision is not perfect, but I can read this okay. So you have the front of the cards, the player mats, and I actually referenced another game that I thought the player mats reminded me of, thinking that it was one of Gameland's offerings. But it turns out it's actually one of Tasty Minstrels games that I have. Harbor. So if you remember the player mats for Harbor, these are smaller, but they work the same way. So we have our the player cards, and we have a lot of them. I don't know how many there are, over 10 of them. They're all kind of mixed up. Chief, I was the cowgirl tonight. None of these were used. Gambler, I don't remember what. Oh, we had someone played the outlaw, and another person played the gunslinger. I played the cowgirl, but you get the lawman, apothecary, gambler, lots of stuff, right? And then on the backs, you have a full-fledged, fully detailed, or very detailed. So you have your influence, the law, which is defense, force, which is this bullet chamber here. It's your bullets. It's your attack. And straight up money for your they call it influence, but they're like your resources. And then you have the rising and falling, or your little gauge here, and you just move the token along the track to represent how many of each resource you have. So this is very reminiscent of the Harbor player mat, except this is a lot smaller. The Harbor one, right? The Harbor one filled up the whole box, and this is the same size box. And then the Harbor also had, on the backs of the Harbor ones, they had the solo play rules on the back, which I thought was really handy. Just like with the Tiny Epic Galaxies, they have the solo AI, of varying difficulty on the back of the placards. So, or the playmats. So, I mean, while this is really handy, I think they could have been separate cards or something. And because I didn't see any solo rules, but I know it's that was one of the stretch goals, was solo play rules. It does say plays 1 to 4 players. I'm not sure how that works. I mean, I looked through the book a couple times, but did not really read it in detail. Maybe the rules are in here. There's a lot of pages in here. But I don't see anything that just jumps out at me for solo play. And of course, inside the first page, it tells you what you have all in a retail box. Like, it has 12 posse tokens, 3 of each color, 4 location mats, which it does. Well, it has 6 technically, but the 4 location mats that correspond to each color of player, and then it has 2 other ones for 6 altogether. Town Hall and the Sheriff's Office, which are always the same. 30 building cards with the blue backs, and 20 poker cards ranging from 1 to 5 with the red backs. And these look great too. They look all worn out. I mean, it's all the same artwork, but I mean, I almost was going to sleeve them with colored sleeves. I have some extra ones here, but and I do sleeve everything. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, I sleeve all my cards. I have tons of sleeves. I buy them in bulk on eBay. So and I use penny sleeves. And you want to use fancy sleeves, go right ahead. But the penny sleeves, the Ultra Pro ones, I find are the best for me. I've gotten other sleeves like Perfect Fit ones. I saw Perfect Fit looking sleeves that my friend was using. I don't know what brand he used because I mean we're able to shuffle the cards and they stick together. I have gotten a couple of different brands. They either tear or stick together, and it's freaking annoying. So I end up like I sleeved up my Legendary Encounters Predator game, and all those sleeves stuck together. One of my buddies that was playing that one day, he had like 5 cards, and he grabbed one, and they all stuck together like with static. And I was like, yeah, and he couldn't even shuffle them at all. It was terrible. And I ended up just re-sleeving them with penny sleeves, and I got more. So I have a whole box of those sleeves. I want to give them away to someone because I mean they're still good sleeves. They're not good for shuffling or anything. Anyways, so the red back cards, these are the poker cards, and they have their own suits. You got a steer skull. You have teepees. You have horseshoes, and you have cowboy hats. And they have different, just like with the standard set of cards, the suits have different rankings, and they're actually listed here on the back of your player mat. And then also the simple, you'll be using poker rules to determine the 3-card hands. So, and they're the same as poker with just 3 cards. So, which is great. And then there's some modifiers with you can adjust the number and the suit ranking. Here are the locations. I have the backs to me. So yeah, so blue is the courthouse, and when someone isn't playing blue, then you just flip it over, and it becomes all gray except for the courthouse, or barren, I guess. The hideout, which I played tonight, is green. Sheriff's office is one of the constants. No one plays it. There's 2 sides though, but looks like they're the same. Double-sided looks the same. Yeah, same. Red is the saloon. And yep. I guess if I played by myself, I could just set it up one player and all the other cards are flipped over. And it has rules for when people aren't playing certain cards. Yellow is the bank. I guess I could do that. I guess that would work. And then you always have the rival, the serious rival, for when there was just one person is on a certain place on the board. So I guess, yeah, that would work. I don't know how well it would play though. We'll see. And then Town Hall. Actually, Town Hall also has the card rankings. This one is just words for the poker hands, and then it actually shows you the suit rankings, right? Just much bigger. No, a little bigger. And then you have resource tokens that can rank for bonus points. And we didn't figure out how that worked until the very, the 5th or 6th round. We didn't actually start manipulating it correctly. You have FAQs here, which actually, when we asked our questions, I think only 1 or 2 of them. So I don't know, this must be taken from the Board Game Geek forum or something, maybe the Kickstarter. But yeah, I think everything else made sense except for a few rules that are actually not addressed in this FAQ here. I don't remember what the original dealer token was supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be clay or something, but they decided on plastic because of weight. I believe that's how it was, and it's fine. It looks good. It's slightly, the paint is not the best, but again, if you think of the paint might eventually wear out a little bit, it'll go along with the fake worn artwork here. My friend actually asked if if all the cards are effed up like this, you know, like on purpose or what? And I said, yeah, it's supposed to look like the old west, like. And if you look at them, all the markings look the same, but at first glance, they just all look like an old deck of cards, which is awesome. So these are the building cards with the blue backs, and the poker cards with the red backs, and we have the custom meeples. They look like cowboys. They don't look like the flick 'em up cowboys, but they do look like dudes wearing hats. I don't know if you can see. I guess I don't really need to go up close, but here we go. You see that? They almost look like little gangsters, you know, not cowboys. But those are the posses. Each one represents a posse. I'm not gonna do the gameplay video though. Well, obviously, I don't really know how to play the game all that well. Only played it one time and was like, I would say maybe 80% correct. Dealer, it says dealer on one side and then has artwork on the other side. And then, let's see. And they have nice artwork. I think it's one of the stretch goals just to make the game pretty all around. They have artwork on the inside. This is the top of the box. And it has this like it says Dice Corral in it, so it's like a showdown. And then of course the FAQs on the bottom of the box. There's the back side or the bottom. Top artwork. What am I missing? Oh, so like I said, this has a retail manifest. So some things aren't going to match if you have the deluxe set. Just a couple things. 12 influence tokens. Each player gets 3. And I'll show them. They're small. They're easy to lose. My dog will probably lick one and then spit it out. He's a little dog. He doesn't care. It doesn't smell like beef or liver. He's not going to eat it. But my friend said her cat would eat it because cats are crazy. So apparently. So I'll just show one of each with the printed artwork. I think these turn out really great, but man, they're tiny. They're tiny pieces. There you go. Can you see that? Oh, see, I just dropped one. Try again. There we go. So the Sheriff's Star, obviously, is the law. That's defense. Bullet Chamber is force. That's your attacking power. And the yellow one is gold. It represents money, income. Oh, and I just dropped another one. Okay. So I'm a little wary about bringing stuff like this to my gaming store. Even though they find everything and keep it, it would be so easy to lose stuff. Alright. I'm going to need a new bag for this because the one that these came in is so flimsy. And I have plenty of extra ones thanks to Codenames because I have the broken token insert. I have. I put them. I set them down. Oh, I threw them in my extra bag box. But I have like a handful of bags from that. And here are industry tokens. They go here. There's a town hall. Oops. There's a town hall, and then you're going to manipulate these by shifting them around to, by the end of the game, whoever has the most points or the most symbols on their cards, like this. You're going to accumulate points. And you're going to compare, like, you're going to count up all the symbols you have on your buildings. And then whoever has the most of which one will grant you bonus points at the end of the game. So that's what these tokens are for. And like I said, it took us till the end of the game before we realized how each player was able to manipulate them. So those three, awesome. And they're nice, thick wooden pieces. And then of course, the one of the most talked about items that they were boasting about are these dice, and it only comes with two. The gunslinger dice, but everyone's like, why can't we all have one for each color? So you don't have to share the two, right? So, here you are, right there. I tell you what, my friend has an older, rather well-used table, let's say, and I rolled my die. See, they tend to sort of roll forever on a. Her table was not level, and the different leaves that you pulled out, they were not exactly level. They may have been warped or something. And I had my die roll one direction, and it stopped on a 6. I saw it. I was dueling against her. It paused on the 6, and then it rolled backwards. Came back, and it rolled into a 1. And you know, I'm my gaming group, I'm infamous for just rolling poorly, but that was just awful for it to roll backwards on me. So, but yeah, this is a 4, and my other friend was like, "How do they know they're balanced?" Well, I remember in the video that they showed, and I guess I could test it myself, but why bother? They're balanced enough for this game, in my opinion. And we can always roll them in the tops of the box lids, right? There. We can do that just like Tiny Epic Galaxies. Use it as a dice tray. But I remember like them having like a bowl of water, and then the die would float on top, and then they'd spin it like 10 or 20 times, and each time a different number was facing up. So that was the proof that the dice are pretty balanced. So that's good enough for me. And I think I would just make sure that we duel with the dice in the box top or something. That way we don't have to worry about them rolling forever or going backwards or whatnot. But yeah, that's it. So Gunslinger dice, FAQs, character cards, and then the reference backs. Got active player mats, active or inactive locations. That's the active side, that's the inactive side. Got your tokens, and the wanted cards, and the posse. So yeah, and see, I even have an extra bag. I don't even know what was in here. These weren't. Maybe the cards. Yeah, it's probably the cards. I just pulled them out. And the cards. In the book. It's all awesome. So, when it comes out in retail, go get your copy, play with your friends. These games really do get better the more of them that they come out with. They're, Gameland Games is really, really doing a good job of bringing... it's not necessarily epic, but they're bringing complexity to the small footprint games. They're not just super simple. There's a lot of strategy here. It's worker placement, resource management, resource gathering, and it's not really territory control. It's just really more worker placement. Oh, and tableau building, I guess. Well, no, not even that, because when you get your only one building ability is active at one time. So, when you have one building and then you purchase another one takes its place, and it's just whichever one is the top ability is the active one. You buy another one, now that one's the active one. So you only get one ability. So it's not really tableau building, except for when you get to the victory points and then the bonus point industry tokens. And then these two, actually. I mean, well, that doesn't really do anything. It tells you when you get a certain reward. But anyways, like I said, I'm not going to do a gameplay anything, but I just think some of the elements are pretty neat. And hopefully that was really informative for you guys. I don't know if that'll help you make a buying decision, but I do the unboxing to show off my stuff to my friends who may or may not have them. And if you want to comment, go right ahead. I don't read them. So, I mean, if my friends want to comment, just PM me. And I'm still working on those, I call it Gamers and Grub, right? I want to do, like, cooking demonstrations and things, too. Because we don't just play games. We got to eat, too. So, I'm going to have some really cool stuff coming up. At least I think it's pretty cool. Till then, I'll just see you guys later. Thanks for watching.